Welcome back. Let's begin from here. As Director of Strategy and Communication at the Office of the Special Prosecutor, Atta Akyea has clarified what transpired during the OSP's engagement with lawyer Martin Kpebu, who was invited to provide better particulars on his corruption allegations against the institution. According to Mr. Akyea, Kpebu's first appearance was halted after he objected to being interviewed by a particular senior investigator, an objection the OSP deemed inappropriate since he is not an employee and cannot determine internal task assignments. Atta Akyea also dismissed claims that the OSP officers questioned why Kpebu arrived with two lawyers, explaining that the front desk inquiry was a routine documentation procedure, not an attempt to limit legal representation. He further revealed that Kpebu failed to return calls and messages inviting him to honor his scheduled appearance on Friday, the 21st of November, despite being contacted multiple times, up to 15 calls before a second invitation was delivered for Tuesday, the 25th of November. When Mr. Kpebu finally met the investigative team, he reportedly refused to answer questions on his corruption claims, insisting he was still preparing his materials and preferred to address the OSP board. Well, his increasing agitation, according to Atta Akyea, led to the session being halted, after which he was discharged with the assurance that he will be invited again. Fortunately, we're being joined by Atta Akyea with the OSP for more. Also joining us is Martin Kpebu as well. Let's begin with you, Mr. Martin Kpebu. Grateful for your time this afternoon. The OSP says the interrogation broke down because you declined to answer their questions and preferred instead to address your concerns to the OSP board. Really, why is that?
The answer is obvious. The answer is obvious. Look, you see, it appears to me that Atta Akyea wants to use me to rehabilitate his career at the Special Prosecutor Office, which career has crashed. His career has crashed. Look, his position is untenable now. He and Agyapong have been caught deceiving the public that they've been investigating the SML matter since January, right? Since 2023. It turns out that they started this year. You see, coupled with the lies the Special Prosecutor himself gave earlier on, that he had gone to NIB, didn't get help, National Security didn't get help, Immigration didn't get help, and we've proven him wrong. So look, Atta Akyea and Agyapong, want to now use me to rehabilitate themselves. It's not on. You can't use me to rehabilitate. You see, Carlos Kaloni, what you are now, well, I should say, let me rephrase it. What they are doing is that by constantly granting interviews, they are trying to rehabilitate themselves so that it will be like, once you don't shut them out and they keep talking, people will forget what they've done wrong. That is the whole idea. That's the whole idea. So we have to see through it and shut them out and look, they should resign. They can't rehabilitate. This kind of egregious errors cannot be rehabilitated here. Right. This one, they just have to go. You can't have your special prosecutor lying to the public and then his director of strategy coming to rationalize what is indefensible. It's not on. It's not on. We will not move to anything. You see, what is in this, what do you call it? This report he gave. He's just seeking to come into the conversation. So when you put him on TV, then he keeps talking, knowing that for a lot of people, they will soon get tired and move on to something else. And so that means that he keeps a job. Look, Atta Akyea, we are not keeping this job. You and Agyapong and this Mr. Akugu, you are going. We've caught you pants down. There's no way you can keep this office. It's not your personal property. You've lost credibility. Your integrity is tattered. You are gone. You are gone.
Mr. Kpebu, can we come to the substantive?
So that's the main thing. Right. There's nothing to report it. What happened there?
Let's come to the substantive one.
Now, Mr. Kaloni, now let's come to the last bit.
Yes, please go
and
ahead.
This is the super substantive. Yes, thank you. That one is, we're done with the super substantive, the more important one. Now, in terms of what he seeks to place there, what he's talking about, you see, when this matter of OSP inviting me first came out, Ghanaians quickly gave the office an answer. Can you investigate yourself? Simple. Can you investigate yourself? There is a lot of wisdom in it. But you see, because they are incompetent, inefficient, they are not getting the answer. So yesterday, we had to finally tell them that maybe the best you can do is to say you're bored, but not yourselves. Maybe, because I say maybe because, look, we are checking other jurisdictions to see there's other best practices. In a case like that, you have to set up a special committee, not even board members. So we'll look at it and see. That's the jurisprudence. When I say that's the thinking that's emerging from other places. So let's come to it, breaking it further. He put it out in the public, so why not? I'll discuss. You see, when I left when I finished the meeting with the special prosecutor, I chose to say that, I'll keep it confidential. We don't need to embarrass the special prosecutor, but he's chosen to come and embarrass himself. Carlos Kaloni, I have just one simple statement to make, what breaks it down. The officers we met yesterday are subordinates to Kisi Agyapong. They are subordinates. And you are saying these subordinates should come and collect this information. And I think if Kisi Agyapong asks them to, since they didn't even say they are taking it to go and give the board, they are taking this information to go and give Kisi Agyapong. You don't see that you are giving him heads up, because remember that from day one when I said that Kisi Agyapong was corrupt, etc., I also added that I would present a petition to the president for onward submission to the Chief Justice, etc., for his removal. I'm not running away from it. So if you were to give to these subordinates, it will find its hands in it will find itself, the information in the hands of Kisi Agyapong, and then you would quickly then give him an opportunity to look and do certain things and come out with answers that, there is no merit. So this type of thing you give to an independent body. So that's what we call, you set up a special committee, not even board members. So you see, this simple thing, Ghanaians, look, go to social media. It is awash with lay persons, people who are not lawyers, constantly asking special prosecutor, can you investigate yourself in this case? No, you can't. You can't. And he quickly said, if you take a case to the police, against the police investigate themselves and the rest. Those ones is mentioned. Yes, the police have PIPs. The PIPs is what do you call it? They've changed the name now, forgotten the name, but it means Police Professional and Standards and Intelligence Bureau, right? So they investigate policemen, etc. But those are subordinates. Have you ever heard that somebody has reported IGP to PIPs? How can IG's subordinates investigate him? Can't we? That's why I find that this conversation, they want to rehabilitate themselves, because the principle is too simple, too fundamental to be explained. He should come and tell us that somebody took IGP to PIPs and IG's subordinates investigated the previous IG, his subordinates. You, Carlos Kaloni, can you investigate Mr. Kenansa, your manager? Can you investigate Mr. Kwesi? How? Can you? Where you sit as a subordinate, can you investigate Mr. Kwesi or Mr. Kenansa? And even if apart from those ones, let's come for that. The people above you, it cannot work. This simple thing, let's give them a simple answer. But like I said, I've seen through it. This is an attempt to rehabilitate. Carlos Kaloni, let's not give them an opportunity to do this. So at every point in time, we'll repeat that what Sami Daku doesn't want to hear. They lied. He and Kisi Agyapong, they came and lied that they went to what? NIB, didn't get help. Went to National Security, didn't get help. That's to arrest Ofuriatta. Went to immigration, didn't get help. It turned out that these are false. These are false. And this alone, without any more, is sufficient for them to leave that office. This alone, you don't need to add any further argument. This alone are enough.
Mr. Kpebu, let me come in at this point. And by the way, this is not Carlos Kaloni. This is Kenneth Jesse. Carlos has a deeper voice than I do. I want to find out from you, why are you not presenting your evidence to Shraj, but would rather want to present it to the OSP board, Shraj or any other body but the OSP board?
Well, Because, you see, there are two different jurisdictions. And remember that the OSP board is not final. We said maybe. So when I was clarifying, I said maybe because, you see, the research is unfolding and showing that in such a case, you go to a special committee, right? So the difference is that if you took it to the special prosecutor, they are able, when they investigate, simple answer, simple. If they investigate, it can lead to a criminal prosecution, okay, which will be far more deterrent, all right,
okay,
than going to Shraj. If you went to Shraj, that would be an administrative inquiry. The consequences are different. The consequences are different. The OSP, they don't do civil administrative inquiries. For them, sometimes they will do like this one that they say they are trying to find a fact finding. But what I mean is that if the information I give is good, it can lead to the criminal prosecution of Kisi Agyapong himself as special prosecutor. It can lead to his criminal prosecution. But if you took it to Shraj would not do a criminal prosecution. Another event too, you see, there's already a petition with this guy, with Shraj. There's a petition against Kisi Agyapong and Mr. Alberta Krugu, who is the director of the Asset Recovery and Management Division of the OSP. So Shraj has one. So let's look at mine. As I've said, you know, this particular case has brought to the fore the limitations of our law. That, okay, so in the past, if the allegations are against the head of the institution itself, where should they go? So it tells you that we have to look at how to amend the law so that there will be a special procedure. If you go and give it to these subordinates who are answering to Kisi Agyapong, you are finished. No, you can't get any proper investigation. So, as I said, I'll be presenting a petition to the president, but the board, when we meet the board, maybe looking at the conversation and everything, we'll see how to do middle grounds. But I'm holding documents, so why would I be running away? I'm not running away to any place. That's why I keep saying that. For me, I granted my interviews first yesterday, and I chose that, because OSP we are trying to find a way to receive the information. I don't need to put these details out. But I mean, that could, because he wants to rehabilitate himself, and Kisi Agyapong chose to come and put it out so that you can interview him. So that once he's done with the interview, people will say, oh yeah, I saw you on TV. So it helps to generate some acceptability now that their careers have crashed. It helps, but we will not accept it. They can't use these TV programs to rehabilitate themselves, Mr. JC. We will not allow them to use these TV programs to rehabilitate themselves. That's the point.
You've made your position known that you are hell-bent on seeing that the OSP evacuates his office. Right now, you've told me a few minutes ago that they lied about going to the NIB and so on. Do you have any evidence to that effect?
Oh, yes. Have you read the Manasseh expose? Yes, searches have been done. I have also done some for the NIB one. Yes, I spoke to somebody who was in charge and said he doesn't even know Kisi Agyapong. Yes, I spoke with the person. So that's my evidence today. If we were to give my number and that person's number to go to MTN, you see a call was made. This. No, Mr. JC, where I've reached, why? I mean, why would I come on this TV to come and peddle falsehood so that, you see, if you were to push me, then it would just turn out that I'm lying? No. There was a call made. And if push comes to shove, the contents of the call can be obtained. You know, when we make calls, if it comes to push comes to shove, the content itself can be obtained. So I have nothing to be afraid of. I called the person who should have received the request from the OFC. Kisi Agyapong, he said he went there. He didn't even say the office. So let me say. So I called the person, right? And the person said it's false. He never received any request from Kisi Agyapong or his office. Never. And asked me that we should ask Kisi Agyapong to produce that evidence. We challenged Kisi Agyapong over a week ago. Has he put it out? But we've been challenging him that he should put out the evidence that he went to NIB, etc. He hasn't put it out. So how come today, we're challenging that he should put it out? Ghanaians have been asking, put it out over a week ago. Because I remember the first I did a challenge was last week Tuesday, because that was when I spoke with the person. I just don't want to bring his name in because it's needless. But when it gets there, assuming today Ghanaians get up and say, apart from Kisi Agyapong leaving his office, they want a commission of inquiry. It will be done in public, Article 278 of the Constitution. I'll come and testify.
Right.
And then all these things will be laid bare, whether I ask the person or not, and the answers the person gave, it will be put out there. So Kisi Agyapong and Sabi Daklo, they should leave that office and stop worrying Ghanaians. It's an abuse of the Constitution.
Right.
It's a betrayal of the public trust.
The OSP says you will be indicted at a later date. Would you cooperate if that date is set?
Oh, absolutely. We are all citizens. Why not? I'm not being investigated. I've made allegations of corruption. So they need it to see if they can get further details to go on. But the only problem right now is that they are choosing to use subordinates, people who cannot investigate Kisi Agyapong. How can you tell the underling to investigate his boss? That's why Mr. JCU. Can you investigate Mr. Kwesi Chum? Can you investigate Mr. Kenan Ansa in multimedia? Who born dog? Can you do that? You can't. It's not possible. So you see, simple principles of law. They can't handle. Is it any wonder that they allowed the Oforiatta to run? Is it any wonder that they are filing charges on causing financial loss, money laundering, which don't belong to them? Because just about 2 years ago, Kisi Agyapong told us that money laundering is not part of the OSP functions, OSP mandate. Because if you go to Section 78, you see the offenses that the OSP can investigate and charge. Right. So he returned Sisi Agyapong married to him, etc. Now 2 years on, you say you are doing money laundering. When you don't have a court decision, you see, when you are doing governance, you carry the whole society along, whole of society approach or whole of government approach. So between the Sisi Agyapong time and now, Mr. JC, when Sami Darko comes, ask him, did they go to court and the court gave interpretation that now they can do money laundering and causing financial loss? If that is so, what you do is that, Mr. JC, this is the point. The way Ghana, our system works, if a case goes to court, not all the decisions get put out in public. So if there's a court decision that says now they can do so, what the special prosecutor should have done is that you hold a press conference and then you prep citizens that, oh, I've gone to court and I have a decision that says money laundering is mine, causing financial loss is also mine, though they are not in my act. Right. So you prep the citizens. You don't go and file charges straight, because the moment you do what they've done now, it means that you create suspicion that you just want to go to court, then the court will free the accused. Right. So please ask him, how did their mandate change? Is it a court decision? If it's not a court decision, we don't want such a gamble. What they have to do is that they have to go to court independently without using any accused person as a guinea pig. Don't gamble with anybody, because when you gamble, the person may win and then the public comes up short. It's those things, they are for the Attorney General. So if you think now the court say you can also do money laundering and causing financial loss, bring the decision, let's read so that we'll all be informed, because it's just like, Mr. JC, this news we are, this program we are doing now. Right. It's not possible that every Ghanaian will hear or watch this program. So you have to find a way to pass it on to all Ghanaians. Then we read and then we are abreast. Don't keep it alone, because it beggars believe that OSP now has filed charges for causing financial loss. In the Oforiatta case, many charges. Meanwhile, if you ask any lawyer, he'll tell that, oh, causing financial loss is for Attorney General. If you ask any lawyer, money laundering is for Iyoko. So where did they get that power? They should come out and should have told us. Otherwise, the suspicion is that you want Oforiatta to walk free. Right. And then the NPA case, you want those people, the NPA case, you want those people to also walk free on the money laundering charges.
Right. Martin Kpebu, thank you very much. He's a private legal practitioner. Well, let's talk politics this afternoon because a former Minister for Works and Housing and senior lawyer Samuel Atta Akyea has urged the NPP delegates to exercise sound judgment as they prepare to select the next flag bearer. He warned against electing anyone who may embarrassed Ghana on the international stage. Speaking at a gathering of party faithful at Impriaso in the Eastern region, Mr. Atta Akyea cautioned delegates not to make a mistake and elect someone who would insult world leaders when he travels to the United Nations. Well, Mr. Atta Akyea stressed that Ghana's global reputation must remain intact, particularly at high-level platforms such as the UN General Assembly, where decorum and diplomacy are crucial. According to the former minister, the next leader must possess the temperament, maturity and statesmanship required to engage constructively with the international community.
Now the papa ekosi United Nations. Someone mu United Nations. Oh, everybody mmeremu we ase ya. Na ade no samba biemu a wo bete motherfucker. Ghana for bete motherfucker. Ghana for bete everybody yakopɔ mampani na wo ka motherfucker. And what is that Bawumia wa ka motherfucker da. Oh, everybody. Mr. Mo ya nto chacha. Na minimum obehu ya mobo obebie.
Let's expand this conversation and speak to Kobi Amwa, who is a law lecturer and aide to Kennedy Agyapong. Grateful for your time, Kobi. First of all, I know that all of you are feverishly campaigning. How is the campaign going?
Very much, Kenneth. A very good afternoon to you and all your listeners. So far, so good. Our campaign is going very well. Honorable Kennedy is in the Western region, engaging delegates, letting delegates know why they vote for him, letting delegates know that he is a situational leader that Ghana now, person to create jobs for Ghanaians, and the person, also very importantly, the person who can win power for the NPP. Honorable Irina, she's in the Ashanti region, also touring. She's done about 20 constituencies as of now, letting people know that, first of all, as delegates, Kennedy Agyapong is the person who can win power for the NPP. Secondly, that Kennedy is the one who can create jobs for Ghanaians. You know, the issue of jobs is the number one issue here in Ghana.
Right.
From our national security reports, from every survey, we realize that the biggest threat to the stability of the country, the biggest threat to our economy is the issue of jobs. And Honorable Kennedy, through his experience, through his vision, we know that he is that man to create jobs for people.
Right.
So they are going around spreading their good word, focusing on their message and how to get delegates to vote for them.
Right. And also joining me on the telephone line is Dr. Akyea Amwako, who is the deputy spokesperson for the Bawumia Campaign team. I'll bring her in shortly, but let me continue with you, Kobi. What do you make of the statement by a former Works and Housing Minister, even though your candidate's name was not mentioned, but there are speculations that he could be referring to him?
Thank you. I think that the parties that we have the situation on hand, which people believe is a very tricky one. A very tricky one in the sense that leading up to this election, there's been a lot of language, a lot of commentary, which has not inured the last piece, the togetherness of the party, even the image of the party. So looking at someone, an otherwise respected person like Honorable Samuel Atta Akyea, who all of us look up to as role models, both in the legal profession and in politics, I was expecting more language which unites the party, language that brings everybody together, and language that will make it easier or very easy for the party to move forward after the election. Looking at the lines he's towing and like that, especially of someone of his caliber, I think it's quite unfortunate. I believe that people of their caliber should be the ones who fall in with the younger ones and others in the party to order when people make such unfortunate comments, especially at this particular stage where we are not even too sure of how we can bring the party together after the election And a lot of party leaders, a lot of social commentators and others have shown lots of concern. So I think that we should all strive to do better. And that goes to both we, the younger ones, and people as astute and respected as he is. I think that, listening to the comments, I think the most important thing for Ghanaians is the person who can solve Ghana's problems. Someone who can end unemployment, someone who puts in place the right structures to build a robust economy so we don't get back to the situation that we were in a few months ago and recurrent nature of going to the IMF. Ghana as a country has been to the IMF for several reasons, for 18 different times, and this was not a good thing. So we need someone to provide such long-lasting solutions, and that should be the candidates that the NPP should be looking for.
Let me bring in Dr. Akyea in at this point. Grateful for your time this afternoon. You're also crisscrossing the country with the former Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia. How is the campaign going so far?
Oh, the reception has been awesome. The reception from the Eastern region has truly been overwhelming, especially in the Kpebu enclave, where we expected some sort of indifference, but it wasn't like that. It was quite clear that the Eastern region is so strongly behind His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, not just because of his good character and his temperament and his dependability for the party over the years, but also because of the very clear articulated vision he has for the development of this country. It is very creative. It's very easy to go on that vision of sort of thinking of saying, I can do this, without proving to us or without telling us exactly how you are going to do it. It is only a wish. It is only waxing lyrical, which almost anybody can do. But we, on the other hand, have been able to demonstrate over the years that we have a clear plan to be able to move the country forward. The delegates, the responses that we've been getting from the delegates in the Eastern region has also been quite simple, that they all stood behind His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in 2023. Indeed, this was after he had studiously and very diligently stood behind the former president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for 16 years, over 3 elections before he succeeded. And he was able to do that honor for His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who hails from the region. So they see no reason why, after supporting him massively in 2023, they should change him. That's been the sentiment on the ground, that nobody has been able to give them any cogent reason to change their position from what they held in 2023. They see no problem with His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. They are still strongly behind his character,
right,
his temperament, and his vision to develop this country.
Dr. Akyea, you've spoken about temperament about 2 times. Dr. Amwako, I beg your pardon. You've spoken about temperament about 2 times during this conversation, and that has been the center of this campaign. You've heard the former Works and Housing Minister, Samuel Atta Akyea, saying that they shouldn't vote for someone who is not temperamental enough. What do you make of that statement, and who do you think he was referring to?
Oh, I can't answer that question. I am not in the mind of the former honorable member of parliament, so I do not know what he meant. But on the issue of temperament, I think it's very important for members of the NPP, because we are choosing a flag bearer we are present the entire Ghanaian population to be able to be a trust so that they can report enough the authority to lead the country again. So it is very important, especially for a country as conservative as Ghana, that we present somebody that is a unifying figure, somebody that is not divisive, somebody that most Ghanaians can trust the stewardship of the country to. And I think with that, you cannot look at that equation without the issue of temperament.
That means the temperament is really a concern for the Bawumia camp as well. But
no, it's not. It's not really. I don't want to put it in the context of a concern for the Bawumia camp. I am very sure it's a concern for the Ghanaian,
right,
for the Ghanaian voter. You remember during the tenure of the late Professor Samuel, he was Ghana have always, we are very conservative country. We are very peaceful. We do not really enjoy the rabble-rousing style of doing things. That is why even when the people that are sort of known for giving us attacks, when they receive attacks, they are quick to rebut and call them unfortunate and all of that, because they can tell that it is not good. So you can imagine we finish the primaries. The NDC is not going to hold back on reminding Ghanaians the kind of things that have been said by some candidates. So I personally, and this is my personal opinion, but I cannot speak for the honourable member, and I do not know who he was referring to.
But overall, you think that he made a good point, although you say you do not know who he was referring to, but you think he made a good point to delegates that you should vote for somebody who will not disgrace Ghana outside of the country?
I am going to throw that question back to you, my dear. What do you think about that? Don't you think that it's important to Ghanaians that we have a president that would have the character, the moral, emotional intelligence, and temperament to be hold all of us together? I think that should be a rhetorical question.
And of course, the two leading figures to lead the New Patriotic Party is obviously your candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and Kennedy Agyapong. Their temperaments, people say, are parallel. People say that Dr. Bawumia is on the calmer side, where Kennedy Agyapong is a bit tough on certain things. Do you think that this statement that Atta Akyea was making was probably in reference to him, and do you think he has a case to make that statement?
You see, you tried to ask me the same question in about 3 different ways, and the answer will remain the same. I don't know what was in the mind of the Honourable Atta Akyea. I have not had the opportunity to speak to him after that engagement. But if we are talking about the issue of temperament and the issue of the quality of character and precedence, I think every Ghanaian will agree that it's very important.
Dr. Akyea, I'm grateful for your time this afternoon. I wish you all the best in your campaign. But I still have Kpebu from the Kennedy Agyapong camp. Kpebu, you've been listening to your colleague in the same party, Dr. Akyea Amwako. She says that she doesn't know who Atta Akyea was referring to, but she sees temperament to be very important. Now, of course, we all know Kennedy Agyapong, a fiery politician in the country, and there are many suggestions that the language that Atta Akyea was saying probably was the language that the ordinary Ghanaian on the street or the NPP delegate was thinking, that due to how we know Kennedy Agyapong, perhaps Atta Akyea was right, don't you think?
Hello, Kenneth. Yes. So, I mean, on the issue of temperament and character traits, I think Ghanaians are more interested in someone who has the character traits to fight corruption. I think Ghanaians are more interested in someone who has the character traits to call their own people to order when they do wrong. Ghanaians are not looking for someone who is weak in character, someone who is not able to ensure that the right thing is done at the right time. You remember the vice president during the thank you tour, former vice president, told us that one of the main reasons that the NPP lost was arrogance of power. And if you would agree with me, it is the president or the vice president, the people in charge, who would have to make sure that their subordinates or people they have appointed into office actually are not arrogant or actually exhibit the right character that they need to have in government. So Kennedy has that right temperament, that character trait to call people to order, the right temperament to actually take decisions and to ensure that the country moves forward. And I think one thing that Kennedy also has is competence. You see, Kennedy has given us a very simple or a very clear plan on what he wants to do in government, how he wants to use the private sector to catapult the socioeconomic development in the country. And competence is very important. I think that, I mean, from the last NPP government, it was very clear how we performed, especially on the issues of the economy. And Ghanaians, through the referendum or the last elections, actually showed us how they felt about how we manage the economy. So Ghanaians are looking for a leader who has very simple, easy, practical solutions that will move the country forward, that will end up ensuring that there are good jobs created for people to do. And I think that Kennedy is that person. I think that the delegates understand that he is the right man for Ghana at this right time. At every point in time in every country, there is that kind of situational leader who is needed for the development. If you may recall, Ghanaians voted for President Kufuor, who was a very cool, calm gentleman, at a point in time where there had been so many, we had gone through different coups in the military era, and we needed someone who was calm, cool, gentle to ensure that the country stabilized and moves forward. Now Ghanaians need someone who has that strong character to push through development, who has that strong character to ensure that his job-creating agenda is realized, and who has that strong character to ensure that he calls his people to order and makes sure that his subordinates act the right way.
Kpebu, thank you very much. His aide to NPP Flagbearer hopeful Kennedy Agyapong. Now, a critical pillar of Ghana's emergency medical supply chain is collapsing, putting rural patients at serious risk. Zipline, the global leader in instant logistics and medical drone delivery, has begun decommissioning 3 of its centers after months of crippling government underfunding. Well, the partial shutdown surfaced during a heated debate on the 2026 budget in Parliament on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, revealing a major fiscal crisis in the health sector. At the heart of the issue is a 175 million Ghana cedis debt the government owes Zipline. Yet the 2026 budget allocates only 20 million Ghana cedis to the program, a mere 11.4% of the outstanding arrears, leaving a 155 million Ghana cedis shortfall and no viable path for sustaining the service's high-tech operations. Well, ranking member of Parliament's Health Committee, Dr. Atta Akyea, who was speaking on the floor of Parliament, raised the alarm, accusing both the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Health of negligence. Right, so let's get in touch with Dr. Atta Akyea, who is joining us on the telephone lines right now. Grateful for your time this afternoon. You've raised a series of concerns with Zipline. Help us understand some of them.
Yes, my brother, good afternoon to your listeners. Basically, the issue to do with Zipline is a worrying one. They fill the space for a period of time. They provide service that related products that in essential medicines to health areas and also to other areas, just to make all this product accessible to clients when they need it. We are worried. They've actually cautioned government a couple of times on the need for them to engage them, and there's not been any engagement. There's not been non-payment for 11 months, and then they would issue this letter decommissioning them of basically starting their 3 distribution centers. And what happened to all the centers for the past 24 hours? They delete all the time, they set stuff like all the time, and all the saturated areas, what will happen to them, the lives we are losing for the past 24 hours. It's unfortunate.
We know that this Zipline drone delivery system was a flagship program under the erstwhile NPP government. Do you feel that that could be the reason why it appears to have been abandoned since the new government took over?
Yes, it could be one of the reasons. For me, I think the reason is a political reason. I just don't see why governors of this country can be politicized in matter of health. I'm one person who is always clear in my mind that health is not an area that you do politics in. You don't see clients and see politics in them. It's just a continuous process. You improve upon it. So you do politics with this. What is the marginal cost to the decision that you have taken? And for that matter, what alternatives have you put in place? All it's going to happen is that the past years there's going to be a lot of life we are losing, and that's not going to be a good decision. So I think that what is good for the who should know better is just trying to understand the situation.
Okay.
The Volta region and the Tertiary in the Western region, the Central region, the Afam area. I mean, what happened to these people? Sometimes you have to cross a river, get health care in a media. And really, I don't think it's a good decision. It's a good decision. They have to engage them. You have to, even if you want them decommission, it has to be in phases so that the lives of people are paramount decision you are taking. You understand?
Yes.
So the basic maternal deaths all over the world is going more to do with blood product shortages in terms of, you understand, those who even live in Accra and the big cities, they are all faced with this issue of shortages. And how much more those in the rural areas, poor roads, poor infrastructure, and so difficult to access blood and blood products. As of now, even in the country, you don't have a software that connects blood banks. So you cannot even know inventory or stocks of drugs and reorder labels and what is happening here in this hospital. Like, it's so manual. Nothing the Ministry of Health has a sort of focus to do to save this country, to get emergency services moving to a next step where all the blood banks in this country are connected. You understand? And then we also see how all these products are made available. It's a matter of time. You cannot just take them off like that. It's really not appropriate. It's really not appropriate. It's not the best of decisions.
Okay.
I really think they need to engage them. They need to engage them. And if you want to decommission them, do it in phases. And let Ghanaians know the provisions you put in place. But you cannot do it just like that suddenly.
Right.
Like this. It doesn't really go well.
As a ranking member on the Health Committee, what is your side of the House, the minority, going to do about this? What is your next step?
Obviously, we would have to file a couple of questions, and we'll need some more details on that as well from the minister. And I think this will stay on for a period of time. It will come with a whole lot of community actions, and a whole lot of actions would come out of this decision. I don't think any flagship program of the NDC, even when they are not in power, should be shelved by any regime. It really is not good, because the money you are using in this investment is not your money. It's the taxpayers' money. It's the taxpayers' money, and otherwise democracy is just going to be a cost. I don't even know if as MPP ever did one to the NDC, not in the health sector. I would have spoken against it. My attitude is not just like this. I really would have spoken against it. Whatever situation we met, it was continued. And whatever they would leave, the future MPP government will continue from there. If John Mahama has a legacy, it's for him, it's for Ghana. You can make politics about it, but it is the case that it is his legacy. So what do? You improve upon it. Because day in and out, there's research ongoing, there's vacuum, there's literature review, there's the government, is a continuous process, public policy is always dynamic and enhanced. How can I just come in suddenly and say that we are throwing one away?
Right.
It's the cost to the people. It's your money. What's all this about? It doesn't make sense to me, actually. It does not sit well to any person. And I really challenge you to go to the communities in the Volta region. I challenge you to go to the communities in the OT region. I challenge you to go to all the affected communities and let us see the alternative cost or the impact of the decommissioning or the shutdown of these health centers. It's nothing one you want to play politics with. I'm telling you, you'll be moved. And I'm challenging you. You have a very fantastic media network. You are across board. You are everywhere. Can you do a favor to Ghanaians? Let us have the opinion of the community, the opinion of the health workers, the opinion of the clients. And now currently, who is dying out of this decision?
Doctor,
it is not best.
Dr. Akyea, thank you. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. He's the ranking member on Parliament's Health Committee, and we have been trying to get a rep from the Ministry of Health, but have been unsuccessful. Well, let's bring you more stories this afternoon, because the Environmental Protection Authority crackdown on illegal mining in the eastern region has entered day 3, with officers seizing 7 excavators and several Shanfine machines used in Galamsey operations around Osino and nearby communities in that area. The authority says it is on the ground to enforce strict compliance with mining regulations. It began its nationwide Galamsey crackdown in the Ashanti region weeks ago and has now moved operations to the Eastern region. And here is the acting Eastern Regional Director of the EPA, Sydney Kpebu Danso.
Yes, stretch also to ensure say most of the champagne machines that are being used are used properly if they are permitted. But unfortunately, most of the places that you're calling, most of them are operating under extra good. And extra good and Casano, permit they are now in the process of acquiring permits. So your advice here, and he say, listing all the mine services are now the number of acres are as extra good for us to plan. And I'm happy say yeah, Deputy CEO operations and so Adjournment say the can and I started can for Monday trying to as a region say Osino and then the devastation being caused here is just too much. Extra good because Omunyan licensed entity under EPA and the me regulate as a proper mining company until for us to sit down to do the right thing. We cannot guide them. So for now we are telling them to cease operation. I think basically that's what we are doing. And last place I buy one customer will say a brief mining is showing now diversity. And the basic to the champagne machines.
Let's have a conversation on the back of this, and joining us on Zoom right now is the Eastern Regional Director of the EPA, Sydney Kpebu Danso. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. So today marks day 3 of the crackdown. What key successes have you recorded since Monday? Unfortunately, we've lost Sydney on the line right now, but they are on a crackdown against illegal mining in the Eastern region. And we're getting reports that as we speak, they've seized 7 excavators and dozens of champagne machines in Osino in the Eastern region and nearby communities as well. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Welcome to The Pulse. This afternoon, Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin has torn into Ghana's judiciary, accusing it of serving political interest after the Tamale High Court annulled the parliamentary election in Pandai constituency. It will be recalled that on Monday, the court upheld the election petition filed by the NDC candidate and ordered a rerun in 30 days. Addressing journalists in Parliament, the Minority Leader described the conduct of the court as shameful and serving the interests of certain paymasters.
Judiciary must know that their actions and inactions to serve the interests of whoever their paymaster is has the tendency of destroying our peaceful republic. We will not mince words. They can conspire to call us one by one for a so-called contempt of court. We are criticizing their shameful conduct. We are not afraid. We are ready to be in Nsawam for their so-called contempt. The world will see their disgraceful conduct. We will not sit aloof and allow them to undermine the very rule of law that they are supposed to protect. How can a judge who calls himself a judge sit in court and misconduct himself in such a manner and expect the country to be quiet? Now here is where the matter becomes even more extraordinary. This order, an order with massive political, legal and democratic consequences, was pronounced without the court's full judgments, as I've stated supra. There were no written reasons, no factual findings, no legal analysis, just a naked directive issued into the public domain And the whole constituency is now being told that there must be a rerun. I am a practicing lawyer of experience at the bar. I understand that courts occasionally deliver rulings with reasons to follow. But such a practice is the exception, not the rule. And it is never an acceptable approach when the stakes are this high.
Well, let's stay in the House and speak to our resident correspondent, Kpebu Asante, who is joining us via Zoom with more. Kpebu, the minority leader, claims that the NDC knew about the judgment of the court even before it was read in open court. Tell us more.
Well, yes, that was one of the very intriguing claims that was made by the minority leader at this news conference. And according to Afenyo-Markin, the NDC came to court prepared because they knew they were going to get victory in this judgment of the trial judge. And so they believe that the NDC had been pre-informed about the judgment of the court. And that is why they came to court with so many of its prominent and influential people. Listen to Afenyo-Markin again make these claims.
The sad part of it is that the NDC candidates and its supporters were aware of the judgment before the day, to the extent that on the day of the said judgment, the regional minister led a team of NDC party faithfuls into the courtroom, anticipating the expected results. The result that they were going to have judgment in their favor. The judge, who spent minutes, walked out of the courtroom claiming that his judgment will be ready on Friday. Meanwhile, in less than 24 hours, a court order was being served on Parliament and Honorable Nyindam. What kind of kangaroo judicial system we have it now in Ghana?
I still have Kpebu Asante with me. Kpebu, the NPP group say they will challenge this decision to the full extent possible. Tell us more.
Well, yes, they also insist that the Member of Parliament for Pandai, who you see in the video, they're just standing with Afenyo-Markin, continue to remain the Member of Parliament for Pandai. They have a message for the constituents that they will fight this to the very end. They should not be disillusioned.
To the people of Pandai, your Member of Parliament, Honorable Matthew Nyindam, remains the sitting Member of Parliament for the Pandai constituency. He remains a full Member of Parliament. He remains a proud and active member of the Minority Caucus and the New Patriotic Party. No person, no institution, and certainly no flawed judicial order can suspend the mandate you freely and lawfully conferred upon him, unless and until the appellate process, properly invoked and fully exhausted, runs its lawful course. He will continue to serve you with dedication and dignity. Let me state this emphatically and without equivocation. The minority will lawfully resist any attempt, whether subtle or brazen, to bar him from representing his people. We will not permit democratic legitimacy to be overturned by judicial improvisation.
Away from Parliament, 101 out of 153 frontline health workers are battling severe, yet often unnoticed mental health problems. A 6-month study by the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons shows that workers aged 30 to 39 in the Shai-Osuduku district of the Greater Accra region are the most affected. The research found 49% have normal to mild anxiety, while 51% suffer moderate to extremely severe anxiety. These findings have triggered renewed calls to make mental health screening a routine part of general health assessments for frontline staff. Mamavi Sefako has more in this report.
The Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons and its partners conducted a study into the mental health status of frontline workers, revealing that those aged 30 to 39 are most affected. Speaking to JoyNews, Professor Irene Agyapong explained the purpose of the research.
The frontline health workers who provide care, they said that, do you realize that we ourselves also have problems? And that if we don't deal with our problems, we are unable to help our clients. So we also introduced an intervention where frontline health workers can also be screened and supported for their mental health so that they also are better able to take care of their clients.
She also outlined key interventions needed to support health workers to remain fully responsive to patients.
It's simple. It's an app on their phone. It just takes 5 minutes. We recommend that at least once a year. Or if you think you need it, just do it, screen. And then when they screen, we had a link with the psychiatrists at Pandai and the clinical psychologists. They review. If you need help, they do a teleconsultation because Ghana doesn't have so many psychiatrists and clinical psychologists that you can have one sitting in every little clinic.
Principal investigator Professor Tolib Mento stressed the importance of building strong support systems to enhance health workers' responsiveness.
The key contribution from the Ghanaian team was responsiveness is also important in relation to health workers' satisfaction and self-esteem and support. And that has been a really important contribution to both theorization of responsiveness, but also to some of the practical aspects of how can you support staff in order to make health systems work for them and for them to perform better.
From the frontline care to the frontline support, the message is clear. It's time to care for those who care for us. Mama V. Sefakote's report read to you.
The country director of World Vision Ghana, Tina Mukunda, has revealed that over 62% of African land has been degraded. She said the World Vision is partnering the European Union, the Catholic Relief Services, and other stakeholders to address the effects of climate change that is much manifested in drought, rainfalls, and others causing low productivity in agric. She made these remarks at the launch of Greening Africa Project Phase 2 at Kpebu community in the Mion district.
Africa Project is a large-scale initiative funded by the European Union to reverse land degradation in 8 African countries, including Ghana. It aims at improving livelihood, food security, and climate resilience for 500,000 smallholder farmer households by restoring degraded landscapes primarily through agroforestry and sustainable land management practices. Speaking at the launch of the Phase 2 of the project at Kpebu community in the Mion district of the Northern Region, the country director of World Vision, Tina Mukunda, said they are working to ensure sustainability of the project.
As you might be aware, we are confronted with a challenge of climate change, and statistics show that over 62% of African land has been degraded. And therefore, standing with other partners, but also collaborating with the government, especially the Northern Region government, and also working with the European Union, we have come together to be able to leverage the strength of partnership in ensuring that we address the effects of climate change that is so much manifested in drought, manifested in erratic rainfall, wildfires, but also low productivity of agriculture. And so we are looking forward to scaling up.
The European Union Ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Rerun said, apart from this partnership, 60% of their developmental effort went to the northern region.
Is very much aware, as is the government of Ghana, of the challenges faced by the northern region. And this is why 60% of our effort goes to the northern region, of our development efforts. It is in Accra that the country is governed, but it is in the region that the history of the country is written. And this is what we are doing also with this project. We are changing habits and we are improving the livelihood of a community.
The Northern Regional Minister Ali Adolf John commended World Vision and its partners for their efforts to tackle climate change in the region.
Their partnership and the support that they have extended to some communities in the northern region, especially to the Kpebu community where we are today. Indeed, I must say that this is a plus to the northern region because it has engaged our farmers to know the rationale behind this project. As I come here, I'm very surprised that I haven't seen any bush burning so far, even though I can see around some grass that are dried. Unlike those days, you see a lot of grass being burnt by this time.
Let's talk about Inferno this evening because the Ghana National Fire Service has confirmed the death of an 8-year-old girl after fire gutted wooden structures at Dansuman Market. She was trapped inside one of the shops and was burnt to death in the incident. Firefighters spent the night battling the Inferno. The fire has since been fully contained. Collins Frimpong was at the scene earlier and father's report.
This particular market is an enclosed space, so the Ghana Fire Service has secured the area and has prevented traders and also other people to come in. But what I can see here is that several gas cylinders and also stoves were also in here, that even though the Ghana Fire Service can't really pinpoint what really caused the incident, we could see that gas cylinders and other things that we know they are all inflammable and can also cause fire outbreaks have also been seen here.
I'm finding easy. 11, 12, midnight in the morning. If I said 12 o'clock, yeah, but cry in your car. The junker can't cry, you do Dansuman Sonic Junction. Near Fat Taxi by Metro and Pat. Just say me be a woman a shop no man feba kumpo industrial machine 3 baku yesa paddle industrial machine.
There was nothing in the shop I could salvage. 3 industrial machines and some clothes were all that was left, but I lost everything.
Just me who the America ni nara man feba kumpo ni na shi. And I'm a loan leader, group loan, me dear. Musika daho, so I share 1,600. I share. And should I share?
I'm a group loan leader, and the 1,600 for my group was in there. On top of that, I lost my child security service recruitment document. My
Air Force work, office work here, baby. Fire service or apply for
the recruitment security service recruitment.
Yes, or apply for intimidating your money by year man. My BBR, you apply with person that want me for coffee and also ashi.
Pacho, me mada, and much 12. Me ya pama dear, and I'm a tone to ma. Tell my dana, my brother, or by shops or by night. One, me who call me young machine, to me pick a corner say. Sister,
Brother came here at night to work, only to call and inform me of the fire. Since we arrived this morning, we haven't been able to recover anything. President Mahama should come to our aid.
Market have so many years, 15 years in Yamitana. Your lifetime, you be beer, your boy, you be beer, back to zero. Tabai and boy, yes, Rabino. Mama, yes, throw we a mobile watching. A bad time. A bad time, oh, we a mobile. Why, yes, Reno. Yes, Reno, one bema bibi.
Many food sellers operate here with kitchens, which explains the gas cylinders scattered around.
Oh, a diane for no work, it's a diane for ne waha. We are dianeton. We are dianeton, a diane for ne waha. It's a high on kitchen.
No, correct. When your man say, me say phones, me ton phones. I
repair and sell phones. I was notified around midnight, and by the time I got here, my shop was already engulfed in flames. I couldn't save a single thing.
The unfortunate incident is that an 8-year-old child has also lost her life in this particular fire outbreak that occurred here. Quick one, let me get your thoughts on that, or brief me on that. Do you have an idea of the child that died here, and where was she that this particular incident happened?
The child, actually, as I asked him, mom said he looking for the shop inside. She went out to go and buy something. So before she came, there's a fire on here. So you can't enter the fire and go and save the kid. So it's about 8 years girl. It's a little girl. So this is a place where the burn. So actually here now. The place where I went in the back. That's a place.
Thank you. So that is the description here. So if you can see within your shot, this is the place that the child lost her life. So according to the eyewitness, the mom locked her inside the shop there and said she was going to get something to buy. When she returned, she realized that the whole place was in flames and she couldn't gain access to the shop to also try and get the baby back.
The pulse returns after this break. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back to the Pulse. Let's now take you to Parliament, where there's currently a heated debate between the minority and the majority on the floor.
This side, when they were here, and the Honorable Judge Kwesi went back and returned triumphantly. So, what was good yesterday must be good today. We must, as leaders, we must live by principles. That is why when you set bad precedents and bad principles, you should know that tomorrow it may hurt you. So, Mr. Speaker, I have the backing of my side to demand that Honorable Nyindam does not participate further in the business of this House until he goes to re-election. Mr. Speaker, I so submit.
Yes, the minority leader. Yes, minority leader. Minority leader, let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, I have listened to my colleague on the other side. He makes certain claims. I will address the factual claims and the legal submissions. So let me first deal with the factual issues and address the inconsistencies and inaccuracies there too. Mr. Speaker, never as deputy leader, never as leader of this House did I advocate that Honorable Judge Kwesi, having lost a high court case, should be marched out of this chamber. I want the honorable member who is attempting to quote me to bring that Hansard. I challenge him on that. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that Honorable Roxin Defiamako is making an argument, and according to him, he is grounding it on principles. Mr. Speaker, let me spend a bit of time on Judge Kwesi. After the High Court ruling, and he filed an appeal and a stay of execution, this House never denied Judge Kwesi his right of entry and his right to be heard. Mr. Speaker, no, Hansard. That is why I love Hansard. They went for it. Mr. Speaker, let us be very clear when we say that we are relying on precedents. In the 8th Parliament, where Right Honourable Speaker Bagwin presided, the High Court's Cape Coast ruling or judgment, let me say judgment, not ruling, the judgment of the High Court on the citizenship matter did not automatically lead to an order, because, Mr. Speaker, for Mr. Judge Kwesi to be ordered out, it has to be done by the Speaker. My brother on the other side, who I so much respect, I have no doubt on the efficacy of his legal knowledge. We learn together, we study together, we pass our exams together, and he knows how much I respect him. I want him to give me proof that in the 8th Parliament, the Speaker read a communication and directed accordingly. There is none. I want him to bring Hansard with proof that first Deputy Speaker or your good self, who was the second Deputy Speaker in the 8th Parliament, ordered Mr. Judge Kwesi out of this chamber because there was a High Court order. I am aware that the matter came up, but no such order was directed, because I also remember that your side argued that he had filed a stay of execution pending the hearing of his appeal. Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, whereas in the Judge Kwesi matter, the judgment of the courts was made available to all parties. It will interest Honorable Afenyo-Markin, who is today arguing that a member who has been regularly elected, sworn in, be removed because there is an order of a court, when the judge himself said his judgment is not ready. His judgment will be ready on Friday. That is what the judge said in open court. Listen, the right to be heard does not simplicity mean that you create just the opportunity. That right must manifest in the process of hearing, which would be called fair hearing. Mr. Speaker, the next leg of his argument is that a stay of execution does not operate as a stay. Mr. Speaker, with respect, I have spent years in the courtroom. I have been a active practicing lawyer in the Superior Court of this country. And I know my friend to be a practicing lawyer as well. Law and politics may have interlocking interests, but I beg to submit that where the interest of politics is that of convenience, that interest must give way to the law. And no submission should be advanced to make convenience subdue due process and law. Mr. Speaker, what the Honorable Akyea is directing you to do is highly inappropriate, improper. And Mr. Speaker, he adds on to his submissions with a very dangerous precedent. A while ago, though I said it on a lighter note, he was concerned that such words, such phrases ought not to be used. And I agreed with him. How do you, as a leader, in making your case, create an impression that this is a chamber of brow? This is not a chamber of brow. This is not a brow chamber. We all discuss and judge all. So to say that it will not happen, we will not allow. No. Honorable Akyea, it is no more about, for me, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Akyea has always been calling on my side to hear him in silence. There are people who try to create all manner of things, but they don't have a heart to receive back. So they should check their body language before they start reporting to Mr. Speaker that somebody is intimidating them. They intimidate, insinuate, and act up. When they are getting the same taste, a bite of their actions, then they are crying. If they don't have the energy, they should be quiet and listen. After all, I've been here. This is my fourth term. Mr. Speaker, we are not here with manpower. We are not doing a macho business in this chamber. So we will be told that a certain 189 has the macho power to move Honorable Nyindam out. No. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Matthew Nyindam, as the applicant himself said, and the applicant here is Honorable Akyea, he himself conceded that he has become aware that there is a stay of execution that has been duly filed if the High Court judge, who at first instance will hear that application, is minded, he should speedily determine for the man to pursue his case at another level. Mr. Speaker, this is a democracy. Let us allow due process of law. Let us not, for whatever convenience, attempt to frustrate others. Mr. Speaker, we know of what happened on election night, where members on this side who had won their elections through machoism and attacks were denied their votes. We know what we've all gone through. So is this nation today encouraging violence, machoism, as a way to move our democracy forward, I beg to say no. And it should never come out of the mouth of a member of parliament that it should never come out of a member of parliament's mouth that he will not allow by what means. After all, in a worst case scenario, if the member remains here or decides to participate in the words of Harun Idrisu, minority leader as he then was, the decision, Mr. Speaker, I am dealing with Hanzak. No, yes, don't worry, leader. You know what stuff I've made of. I will not get into waters that I'm unsure my ability to swim ashore. I'm very careful, extremely careful. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Harun Idrisu, minority leader, as he then was, in the matter of Judiciary, where a court process had been served on Parliament and on Honorable Judiciary, at the swearing in, argued that the filing of the injunction, Mr. Speaker, in that case it was even an injunction. In that case it was even an injunction order, an express court order, where, Mr. Speaker, there was no process that had been filed by Honorable Judiciary. Even so, the contention of the respected minority leader, as he then was, Honorable Harun Idrisu, was to the effect that if he decides to go against a court order, it is his sole responsibility. If in this country, as part of the jurisprudence, if you disobey a court order, it amounts to a contempt. And contempt of court is a quasi-criminal offense that you, the one who is disobeying the court, you are solely responsible. So, Mr. Speaker, this debating chamber must not metamorphose into a constitutional chamber. We should not attempt to advance a constitutional argument and make a constitutional determination where we know that there's another chamber responsible for that. Today it may be Ninda. So, Mr. Speaker, for anybody to make an argument of convenience and try to shape it in a certain form, clothe it in a certain form, to impose it on us, Mr. Speaker, we will not accept it. I therefore pray, Mr. Speaker, that his request or prayer to you be rejected. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member who is seated in this chamber, who is part of the 87 of the minority caucus, and it is his turn to debate. Mr. Speaker, unless our friend, the majority chief whip, wants to use a physical means to disobey your order or your ruling, or do anything to otherwise disturb the peace of this chamber, he cannot invite you to make a constitutional pronouncement. To deny Honorable Ninda his right to represent his people who have elected him for 4 years. Mr. Speaker, he has not slept on his rights. Honorable Nyindam has not slept on his rights. Mr. Speaker, please, I've made all the legal submissions, I've addressed the factual inaccuracies, as well as, Mr. Speaker, as well as all the factual inaccuracies, the allegations that he made bringing me in, that I, as majority leader, made argument to the effect that Judiciary should be denied entry, and that the majority then denied Judiciary entry. Mr. Speaker, it never happened. The majority never did that because the majority has no such powers. Mr. Speaker, if there are maneuvering to get the chair to subject this parliament to the pleasure of the majority, Mr. Speaker, that must cease. It is not going to help democracy. Now, Mr. Speaker, the last leg of my argument, I am aware of the Asefwa, the Vincent Asefwa case. The ratio in that matter must be distinguished. It's very clear. Nobody should construe that. What the Supreme Court, through my Lord Kulendi, said in the Asefwa case is different in form and shape from this very matter. It is. Where he said a party files an injunction, and then that injunction against a state institution or an organ of state, and argue that until that application is granted, it does not deny that state institution or that organ of government from performing its statutory or constitutional mandate, must be distinguished from the matter before us. This is a matter of human rights, the right of a duly elected member of parliament. He has not filed that process to stop a state institution from performing its function. That's not what he's doing. He has been elected bona fide. You know that. For 4 years. We cannot create any temporal vacuum whatsoever. Mr. Speaker, the issue of representation is a sine qua non matter. Representation of people. Mr. Speaker, when my Lord Atuguba in the Akufo-Addo and others against John Dramani Mahama, and another colleagues, this is a time for all of us to learn. So please, I need your attention. These are very serious arguments. You won't always get me on my feet to advance such serious constitutional arguments. So pay attention. Yes, Mr. Speaker, in the matter of Akufo-Addo and others against John Dramani Mahama and another, Mr. Speaker, my Lord Atuguba, speaking on behalf of the majority, said that the argument of the plaintiff on annulment of votes because same were not signed by the presiding officers as provided for by the regulation must not be entertained, because there had been regular votes and those votes must be respected. My Lord Atuguba invoked the Prudence rule. I'm not here to educate us or give a lecture on the rule of prudence. I'm not going to do that. It's a matter that the applicant himself knows. When procedure and prudence clash, procedure will give way to prudence. And therefore, it will be prudent for us to allow Honorable Nyindam to remain with us as a member of parliament, because it's a constitutional right he's exercising for and on behalf of the Pandai people. And, Mr. Speaker, we cannot say that he should be walked out, or the majority cannot say that they will not allow him to be in this chamber. There is no such precedence. When the Agyapong question matter occurred, there was no directive from the chair, neither was there a metro power from the majority to walk him out of this chamber. It did not happen. Agyapong question remained a member of parliament. He continued to receive his salary. Mr. Speaker, Agyapong question's salary was not stopped. His car loan was not, his car was not taken from him. His benefits were not taken from him. Mr. Speaker, he was allowed to go through the full process, all the way to the Supreme Court. Mr. Speaker, all the way to the Supreme Court, until the Supreme Court made its determination. Then eventually there was a by-election. So, Mr. Speaker, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. What was done by the NDC minority as they were in the 8th Parliament must be done for Honorable Martin Nyindam of Pandai, who is with the minority caucus. Mr. Speaker, without more, I would resume my seat and pray that you allow him to make his submissions as part of his own contribution on this matter before us, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, I've heard you. Honourable members, Honourable
Mr. Speaker,
Leader, you made the application. I've heard you.
Speaker, these are very serious matters.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, Mr. Speaker, hear me.
Leader,
Mr.
Leader,
Speaker,
we have so many things to do today.
Mr. Speaker,
So many things.
Mr. Speaker, I agree. Mr. Speaker.
Leader, I've not given you the platform.
Mr.
Leader,
Speaker, please
you
hear
hold
me.
on. I've not given you the platform. You
Mr. Speaker, please
put
hear
up
me.
the mic first. Honourable members, I listened to the application by the Majority Chief Whip. I've also listened to the Minority Leader. The Speaker of Parliament has indicated to me that I should freeze this particular matter relating to Honourable Martin Nyindam, and therefore I'm not going to make any comment on it. I pray that we hold on with the discussion or the commentary on the budget and move on to something else. So that is my discussion. So Mr. Speaker will take on this matter when he takes the seat. So, leadership, let's look at something else.
Speaker, Speaker, may we take motion number 20?
Speaker,
motion number 20. That will be the third reading of the value-added tax bill. Thank you very much. Speaker, the finance minister, I just realized that he stepped out of the chamber. So may I seek your leave to permit the Deputy Minister for Finance to do this on his behalf? I thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move that the Value-Added Tax Bill 2025 be now read a third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. So I've done a lot for today. I will let the first Deputy Speaker to also continue.
Yes, Honorable Deputy Finance Minister, let me hear you.
Mr. Speaker, I already moved, but I want to repeat that I moved that the Value Added Tax Bill 2025 be now read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, motion for the third reading of the Value Added Tax Bill 2025 ably moved. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I write to second the motion captured at page 9 of today's order paper.
Honourable members, motion moved and seconded, and it is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, I will put the question. The question, therefore, is: as many as are in favour of the motion, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is accordingly carried.
An act to revise and consolidate the law relating to the imposition of the value-added tax and to provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the Value-Added Tax Bill 2025 is duly read the third time and accordingly passed. Honourable members, yes.
Speaker, we may have to go back to motion number 8A to continue with to take comments on the budget statement.
Honourable members, I have heard my colleague speaker loud and clear that the instruction is to defer the issue under consideration as well as the continuation of the commentary on the estimates. So I intend not to vary that particular, the budget statement, the commentary on the budget statement. So once these matters are deferred, I don't intend to vary that directives. So, honourable members, in the circumstances, we are yet to conclude some issues on the other bills. I don't know whether we've gone beyond 5 hours or not. Honourable members, the indication is clear. So if you have not done beyond 5 hours, let's do the needful.
Speaker, we've done 4.5 hours.
Very well, then I expect the needful in the circumstances.
Speaker, I pray that in the absence of any further business, we have two statements. Okay. Mr. Speaker, in the absence of any further business, I move that the House be adjourned until tomorrow midday. Thank you.
Motion move for adjournment. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I write to second the motion.
Honourable members, motion move and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, I will put the question. As many as are in favour of the motion for adjournment, say aye. Aye. Those against, say no. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The House is accordingly adjourned till Thursday, the 27th day of November 2025 at 12 o'clock in the forenoon. Thank you very much, honourable members.
Yes.